Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Today's not off to a good day. I just sat here and talked to you for about half an hour, and then I finally realized my microphone wasn't turned on. So, that being said, let's record this again, and I'm gonna turn this light on to keep the light more consistent. Anyways, today, what I'm doing is I'm working on sighting in this dude right here. This is a model 7717, which means it is a bolt action 17 Winchester Super Mag or 17 WSM. But we can't just get out there and rip it because it doesn't have iron sights. When I picked it up, I just assumed it did, but this one doesn't. What does have iron sights though is the 77 in 357. See that rear sight? See that front sight? Pretty cool. And I also have the 7744. This is 44 mag. I've got quite a few videos of this one. You can see I've already got this one scoped up. Got a Mueller on here. It's a 2-7, I believe. Yeah, took a nice buck with this one last year in 44 mag. But today, for this video, I got a bunch of video plans for the 17 WSM, but it's no good to me till I get a scope on it. I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not really a big fan of these 77 mounting systems. They have the notch there, and then I have the other one sitting right here for the 357 just to show you. They've got that notch in the bottom, and then it's kind of a dovetail to grab the sides of that. Doesn't work yet. I had a M77 25-06, used the same design. The biggest hiccup to me is the ones it comes with is a 1-inch tube. If you know me, I like putting big old honker optics on it. Big old honker optics have 30mm tubes, 34mm tubes. If I'm picking up a scope, I almost never get a 1-inch tube. Now, this being a 17 Winchester short mag, is it probably gonna be shorter range stuff? Well, yeah, we're not going to take it out to 1,000, but still, I like to have all those zoomies for when we're doing bench rest precision stuff to make sure when I break that trigger, I'm breaking the trigger at the same place every time. The guys that do bench rest rimfire stuff, some of those guys have like 60 power zoom optics. But that being said, I looked at my stash of 1-inch tubes, scopes, and here's what I found. I found an old school. This is a Bushnell Elite 3200. Some of y'all old timers are probably like, oh yeah, put that baby on there. This was a pull off of some used centerfire I picked up a while back. It has a drop reticle in it. Kind of neat, kind of vintage. So that's an option. A Bushnell Elite 3200. I think they still make some iteration of that. These are the only 3 scopes I found in my stash of stuff that had a 1-inch tube. And there's this one, a Crimson Trace muzzle loader, which has a muzzle loader drop reticle in it, which isn't really going to help me out too much with 17 WSM. I could just do the holdovers and see where they hit, but not ideal. Then I found this one on my shelf. This is a Hawk Vantage IR. It's called their 17 HMR IR. So this actually has a drop reticle for 17 HMR, which is kind of close to 17 WSM. So I think this is one I'm going to go with. The cool thing about this, it has a 17 HMR drop reticle in it. If I can show you, you're not going to be able to see it great, but let me turn this off maybe. Anyways, you can see the reticle in there sort of, where it's got the holdover and actually has the number in it. 100 yards, 150 out to 350 yards. Who's taking a rimfire out to 350 yards? I don't know. Hey, we will. Anyways, I think this is the one I'm going with. It's got a 1-inch tube, it'll work out. So let me get over here on the bench, tighten this thing down, and we'll get to cracking and sighting in the 17 Winchester short mag. This little Tipton vise here is one of the best things I've ever gotten as far as mounting scopes and stuff. It's the Tipton Best Gun Vise 360. It can tilt all around, and I can already see I gripped it in here too low, and I'm not going to be able to get to those screws. So let me get up here, and not going to crank it too hard on this wood stock, but it's got these flathead screws to torque it down. So I got my little torque wrench here, and I'm going to zing these. Again, I think I said it a minute ago. See, this mounting system, I just don't like it. Trying to torque it down and it jumped out of there. I'm just not a fan. There's better options. Thought I had that one hand tied already. I didn't. So I'm gonna torque these down, and then for the top, I'm actually going to use the Allen key that it came with, even though I said I wasn't going to, because my bit is stripped out that fits these little bitty ones. And I have these little bitty Torx bits. Every bit I have, I stripped out. I bought some that absolutely would not break, spent a bunch of money on them, but since my move, I can't find those bits. So I'm actually going to use the key, but I don't like doing that because you're not doing the torque specs all the same and yada yada. But working with what I got, I'm gonna torque these, then get that on there, and meet you at the range. All right, so here we go. Here's my setup. I just put this table together yesterday. This is the, what do they call it? Caldwell BR shooting bench stable table. That's a long name for a table, but that's what I got set up here. And I dig it. Caldwell Lead Sled DFT2. That's my favorite wrist that I got. This is that 7717 WSM. And on the end, this is my Banish 223 can. This barrel's threaded 1/2 x 28. So Banish 223 can work great. Could have used my Banish 22 can, but hey, I tested it with this the other day and it worked out great. Now, I've got a target at 15 yards. Let's get this thing dialed in here up close. Then we'll get it sighted in at 100. I think this thing will be some really good crow medicine too, but here we go. I'm gonna hold for that center top target. Got 3 of those loaded up in there. It should be plenty, hopefully, for me to get this sighted in. Let's see where we're at, just right off the jump. Hold center there. Does this thing have a parallax adjustment? I guess it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does in the front. That's why it was fuzzy. Turn it way down there. This target's only at 15 yards. I'm gonna crank up the zoomies a little bit. There we go, that's more like it. Holding center there. This thing's quiet suppressed too. All right, so we're low at about 1, 2, 3 inches low and a little left. So let's make those adjustments. I want to be roughly 1.5 inches low. So let's move it to where we want it. And then left a bit. Which way's left? Right there. So let's take another one. I want my left to right to be good, but my up and down, I want my hit to be 1.5 to 2 inches low. So our left to right is good. I'm gonna click it, maybe just 2 more clicks. And let's bring it up 2 more clicks. And we'll take a third, and then we should be good to take a crack at 100 now. Almost the same spot. I'm gonna do 2 more right and 2 more up. This close, we're not moving it much, but now let's go back to 100 and do some group testing. I think it's going to do pretty good. I said it in my other video, these triggers are way heavier than I'd like to have most of my triggers. There are some companies that make aftermarket trigger kits and stuff like that, but I probably won't fool with that. At least not for a while. But let's go to 100 and see what happens. We'll put new targets up there just to make sure we're not looking at the wrong holes there. Be right back. All right, now here we go. Let's do a couple groups of 17 Winchester Super Magnum at 100 yards. Now I can tell my bench is a little bit off, so I'm gonna adjust this thing to tip it back this way. Lift this side up. All right, that should be a little bit better. All 12 zoomies. We got the parallax at 100. See what happens. Well, now at 100, how low are we? 1, 2, 3 inches low. So our left to right is good, but we're 3 inches low. And I want this thing dead on at 100. So that's low. I tell you what, we're on paper. Let's just go ahead and do a group of 3. And I'll adjust it for the second group. Let's do it that way. Well, either we hit pretty near the same hole or something went terribly wrong, because I don't see another hole. Do you? Y'all could see better than I could with that camera zoomed in there. Well, I'm gonna, oh, I see one hit about an inch low. Let me look at my zoom in camera. Yeah, so I think a couple of those might have been in the same hole though, but we're 3 to 4 inches low, so let's bring it up like 3.5 inches and see what happens. I think that hit an inch low and an inch left. Right near that last one. It looks like it's putting them in there. But it looks like I still need to come up. Let me pick out a spot on here. We'll go 1, 2, 3 inches right and 3 inches down from that top target. Yep. Let's go down there and look at the target quick. All right, so walking up to my target here. Oh! Yep, definitely looks like the very first 2 hit that hole, which is pretty impressive. And then another one still inside an inch, that group of 3 there. Then we made some adjustments. We were 3 or 4 inches low there. Made some adjustments, came up here. Somehow we went from being dead on center to an inch left, and that got an even better group. That's impressive. I could not see that good from back there with just 12 power zoom. Then I did my best to hold 3 inches down and 3 inches right here, 2 touching and another right there. That's 3 groups inside of an inch. Y'all hear that? I got a chicken in my chicken coop over here. I'm gonna measure these with the calipers when I get back to the house. Nope. Looks like I got some eggs over there though. All right, so do you guys ever have great ideas too late? So I just measured these groups with the calipers and this thing actually did really good. But what I was just thinking, man, I have a Bergara BMRX carbon. You guys that watch the show see me do some ammo testing stuff with it. I put a Mueller 32 power scope on that rimfire so we could really hone in and do some precision testing with 22 LR. And those videos are up if you want to check them out. But that scope is a 1-inch tube, I think. And that would be fantastic on this. I want to keep this rig as like my... Keep it around close, handy. There's a groundhog, there's an armadillo. Laser beam them at 200 yards, you know what I'm saying? Which you can do with 12 power zoom, but like I said, you know, I always get those comments from the old FUD dudes. I shoot 1,000 with 8 power fixed zoom. Yes, it's possible, but you know what? You're not gonna do your absolute best that you could have done if you were doing a high power scope where you can ensure you're holding the exact same spot every time. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but hey, this thing's great. Even with that heavier trigger pull. The first ammo I tried, the only stuff they had down there at Tolliver's when I picked this stuff up, check it out. I just measured the groups. Those first two did go in the same hole right out of the rip. I didn't clean that thing, nothing. Oh, y'all get on to me all the time. You should clean that stuff out of the box. I never do. 2 in the same hole, and the third one was still within an inch. Was that the rig? Was that the ammo? Was that me? I don't know, but still under an inch, 0.8. And then the second one, which was right here, I have the paper up and down. It was actually stapled to the box like that. This one, I got a 0.38 at 100 yards. 0.38. Then I adjusted it again, which I was holding right here. So I probably need to bring it left and down just a smidge before I put it up for the day. But 0.97, 0.38, and a 0.81. A lot of people sometimes get on to me, you don't do enough groups, you know. You just got lucky on that one. You only got sub MOA because you were lucky. You need to send the whole box down range and see what happens. Well, there's 3 groups in a row, all under an inch. Thing did good. I got several comments when I first showed this thing a couple days ago. I got several comments that were, oh man, I had one, it was garbage. It did 5-inch groups. So far, this one's good. You know, I spent my time. I did torque these because I had a torque bit, big heavy screwdriver, but these I just did by hand. Each one got about 37 oogie boogies, best I could measure. See these rings too? See how much gap there is on the sides? I don't know. I tried to get them as even as I could. That one looks a little bit off. I probably should fix that, but now I hate to fix it now that we spent the money on the ammo. I got that one a little. Anyways, tell me what you think. Hawk 17 HMR scope, 7717 threaded barrel with my Banish 223 on there. 12 power zoomies. Yeah. Varmints beware. Stay tuned. I got more planned on this thing. Like I said, I just moved. So I'm still trying to find stuff to get a bunch of videos done. But hey, appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys on the next one. Hoo-doo!